Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sid Mickle Sports Unfiltered. Last week, we talked about how baseball has lost its soul. We're a small channel, and I didn't expect that video to do, anything out of the ordinary. It did. It has more views than any of my small channel, relatively new channels, videos ever come close to. But the important thing was the amount of comments we got about the game of baseball. So today we're maybe going to do Baseball Has Lost Its Soul Part 2, because I still feel that way. Even though there's a lot of sunshine pumpers who really jumped me. There was a lot of, okay, boomer, okay, old man, okay, shouting, okay, get off my grass. Really doesn't have anything to do with the point. I mean, are you so thin-skinned that you can't hear a different opinion? I mean, let's be reasonable. You tell me what you think in a reasonable, respectful way, and I'll try to answer it that way. That seems fair. But let's talk about baseball and why there was so much activity on my small channel with that video. It seemed to have struck a nerve. Well, I want to give you a couple of quick points about baseball today, just to get us started. The minimum salary in baseball is $780,000. Fantastic. The average is $5.34 million, but that's the average, because the average is inflated with the $30 million contracts. Obviously, you just lump them together and divide it. The median salary is not published by baseball. It's a more close-kept secret. It's estimated that it's between $2 and $6 million. The median of the players, a lot of players who, aren't the superstars, but aren't the new guys. Those numbers are well earned. I personally have nothing against players getting every single dollar they can get, because millionaire and billionaire owners have been making money off players forever. They get tax specialty stadiums. They get special tax compensation for their cities and their teams. I have no problem with millionaires and billionaires paying players. I have no problem at all with Barry Bonilla every year getting his million or two in deferred money. Why would you have a problem with that? Why would anybody disagree with that? These players are making money for owners hand over fist. It's why my favorite team, the Cincinnati Reds, crappy ownership, won't sell their team. They have no desire to fire the incompetent GM they have, one that over 10 years has had just awful results, developed nothing. Anyway, those owners in small markets as well are making tons of money, as we said last week, over the national media packages, over regional TV, radio, all other things. They have no incentive to sell. They are getting filthy richer, not filthy rich, richer off of Major League Baseball players. Last week, my entire contention was about baseball having lost its soul from the player perspective of behavior. And I still think that. I gave the example of one of my favorite players, Ely De La Cruz, stopping 20 feet from home plate after a home run and walking in with his, I don't mind him doing that, but run to the plate. Run off the field maybe. Meet your guys and celebrate. It seems disrespectful to me completely. It seems like you're showing up the pitcher. It seems like you're saying, screw the rest of you guys over there in the dugout, the manager and everybody else. Put the light and the camera on me. Now, an awful lot of you keyboard warriors out there just decided to light me up and call me names and tell me I'm an old man. I don't care if you do that. You've shown your inability to reason, so I don't care what you have to say. And honestly, a lot of the people who were in agreement were on the fringe of being like really wild ideas. One was like, if they don't want to win in a city, their team should be taken away. Who's going to take their team away? The cop's going to come in and just say, we're repossessing this. No. But let me state for you naysayers some clear facts. Would you like to know how many players in Major League Baseball are hitting 300 or above? Enter your guess. I'll give you a couple seconds. It's 10 as of this morning. 10. 10 baseball hitters are hitting 300 plus. And many of those are under 305, just so you know. It's a crazy thing. The pitchers are dominant. The pitchers are absolutely in control. They own baseball once again. They have great velocity and all this kind of stuff. But let me tell you another quick aside from that. I had a comment come in that said, pitchers in the old days were throwing 85, 84 miles an hour. Well, that's not right. They were saying that's the average. One of the real key things is that the radar guns and the radar measuring back in the 70s and 80s was antiquated. The new radar-equipped guns now are very accurate. So really, there's only a 1 to 2 to 3 mile an hour difference in fastballs, curveballs, sliders. I mean, come on. And, athletes didn't just magically throw harder 10 years ago. Some of them absolutely do. And I think it's a growing trend as players get better. Players today are physically, I think, superior. I don't think their maturity, I don't think they're mentally, I don't think they are dedicated to their craft superior to the players of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s at all. I think they're on the real deficit of maturity and being aware of the game. Look at these numbers. How could you not have an awful lot of respect for a game where the average is 5 million a year? The median or mean is 2 to 5 or 6. Seems like a pretty good business to be in. Maybe you should work really hard to take care of it and respect your fans and your teammates and the city that's across your uniform. I don't know, maybe I'm just way too simple, but I don't think so. I watched a podcast this morning with one of the athletics writers, and I'll just leave the name off, but one of their longtime baseball writers. And he talked about a very clear point. He had just gone to the All-Star game and talked about what a dud it was. It was a dud for me because it wasn't on network TV, and I had no desire to pay to watch an All-Star game. Are you out of your mind? Pay to watch an exhibition game? No. But this young man, and I would guess this young man's 30, maybe 32 or 3. I think his opening statement, a statement in his opening paragraph really got my attention. And his statement was, baseball is in big trouble. And his point was, you're not only going to lose the young fan, you're going to lose a lot of the long timers, a lot of the steadfast fans, because the game, with all its gimmicks, can still seem very plodding. It can still seem a little slow. And the pitchers are dominating the game to such an extent that you're not seeing action. Well, if you look at the comments on last week's video, action, celebrating, launching long balls, that's what many of these people live for. Okay, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But it's not sustainable. It's not a long-term boost for baseball, in my opinion. It's got to be a situation where baseball is balanced with offense, with defense, with players understanding the game and respecting the game. I think that's how baseball grows and gets back to being America's pastime. I mean, believe me, the NFL's got enough problems that baseball is in a good position should it do some structural things that make it more appealing. One of the things is if it would just stop gimmicking up the game and stop with the in-game interviews and this just the garbage crap that is network and media derived. It's where the media wants to be. They want to be in that spot. They want to add this strange new twist. They don't really care about covering the game as much as getting the new media spotlight. That's my opinion. Again, I think that's what they're doing. So, this young writer also mentioned something that caught my attention. He said, the way that we are going to change baseball, this game right here, is to take some of the advantage the pitchers have away. Now, he talked about lowering the mound again. He talked about a couple of other things. There is, I guess, a risk to that. There is that whole pitcher reaction to do different things that might lead to injuries. He noted that that's a possibility. He also said, with the growing automated baseball strike zone calls, the appeal challenge and all that stuff, the appeal, which is a challenge, maybe baseball needs to change the strike zone. Okay? If you change the strike zone, you are probably going to see more walks. And you'll see that when the launch anything, uppercut swing, non-level swing that kills average, all the things that are really driving the hitting statistics down, except for home runs. When that changes, you'll see these numbers change. But the real point he was trying to make is action. If you want younger fans, if you want medium interest fans, there has to be action. There has to be something going on. Base running. It only occurs with runners on base, whether it's from a walk or whether it's from a hit, it is action. And he made the point that baseball at its purest shows great fundamental defensive play as well as scorching one, 450 feet away. I can tell you that I fully agree with that. I certainly couldn't say it that well. He made great points, and all I'm trying to do here is say, look, it's not just people of my age, us boomers, which some of you seem to think that's a really big insult. Okay. Some of us non-boomers actually understand that action is really necessary in baseball. And an awful lot of people other than our boomer generation gets it that baseball is in deep trouble. One of the things that we could do as a baseball-loving country is to get rid of Manfred. He's an idiot. He is the worst commissioner in the history of commissioners. He makes Bud Selig look like an absolute genius. He is owned by the media. He is owned by the dollar. He is just a puppet for the owners who are nothing more than money collectors. I think there are very, very few owners who are interested in winning a title for their city. I think they're just money men. And look, that's an evolution too. That's how it works. When you look at an average price of an all-star ticket being $2,000 plus, the game is not for the common man anymore, especially the all-star game. My son and I love going up to Atlanta, the new Truist Park. Fantastic. And look, yeah, I've been to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. I've been to Turner Field. And now we're going a lot to Truist. It is a baseball heaven because it is so well done with all the periphery being there. Restaurants, bars, merchandising, museum. It is a comfortable inner city. Well, not inner, but just on that northern fringe up by 75 interchange. That's easy to get to, and it's a fabulous arena to watch baseball. We always buy tickets so we can get into Chipper's Clubhouse. I think that's what it's called. It's just an air conditioning spot. You can get out of the sun, have a beer, have some food, and just watch it on closed circuit. So the folks at Truist have it figured out. There are a lot of stadiums like that. It's not just Truist Park. There are a lot of great stadiums, and I hope there are going to be more. In closing, I just want to say this. I don't want baseball to be in trouble, but I think it is. I think it's in deep trouble. And I think when the knee-jerk reaction is just to be hostile and act stupid, that doesn't further the conversation. I would love for us all to engage in a conversation that talks about maybe some things that would interest young people, older people, and that middle of the road minor interest fan, because that's where baseball needs to move to. And they need to move there immediately. I hope today's video will display a lack of anger by this boomer. I'm not angry about anything. I'm not shouting about anything. But let me tell you something. I am pissed off about baseball being disrespected by arrogant, self-righteous, self-centered, narcissistic players. That's my real point. That's my only real upset, except with the fact that there's 10 guys hitting 300 in the league. We'll come back in a week or two with another take on a major sport. I think we're going to really and truly try to move to football as the football season is gearing up. Until then, send me your comments. Please try to be respectful, but tell me your opinion. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.